As the day of resettlement arrived, the day of Exodus, we couldn't help but feel a little bit sad as we gazed around the beautiful valley of Long Singu. We noted that more vehicles had arrived during the night to assist and provide transport four-wheel drives for the resettlement and the exodus of the residents of Long Singu, Long Palutan and Long Lua to the new resettlement area in Matalun. The team had decided to go and escort the convoy to Matalun as well after lunch, and to also just meet the Christians who had moved there as a community to just pray together with them and bless them. In the morning, we had a session with Pastor Damai, the local pastor in Long Singu, who would also move to Matalun and who also takes care of Long Palutan and Long Lua. This session was about identifying and breaking generational curses in the longhouses. After we packed and had a quick lunch, we headed out to Matalun, having a last look at Long Singu.
Bawa barang, let's go lah. Yes. Bawa di bawah ni, run boy. Saya dia pun takut. Pada dia, oh dia takut goyang lah. Oh itu gas lah. Ya.
And passing by the bridges, noting that they would no longer be there come the 15th of December. The way into Matalun is long, it's a 3-hour drive. It is treacherous, filled with lots of timber lorries. Because of the work of the load they carry, are unable to brake coming down a slope, so you have to stop at the side of the road and make sure they pass safely before you carry on. We arrived about 3 hours later at the new Long Tangau longhouses of Matalun. We noted that there was electrical supply as well as water, good toilets, flush system, bathrooms, but that the longhouses were now double-story units with much smaller living space lived before. There were lots of people, and among them was one of the elders from Long Palutan who had said that earlier he would not move. He seemed saddened, but we understand the situation they are in. They have no choice because the water levels will rise no matter what. And the promise of 23,000 ringgit as compensation, it's a lot of money for those who are poor. And I believe many moved at the last moment just to take the money and then to just move on to decide what they want to do with it. At the back of the longhouses, we noticed that there were rainwater harvesting tanks to supplement the water supply, and the kitchens and the toilets were in a back veranda which was split level and separate from the living area itself. This was probably to facilitate hygiene as well. This was probably to facilitate hygiene as well. The surrounding area of New Long Tangau seems to be barren in the immediate half to 1 kilometer circumference. The plants that are nearby are newly planted palm oil, which means that they have not begun to bear fruit, and we can imagine that it will be difficult for people who have not yet moved to the agrarian culture, who are still in nomadic hunter-gatherer mode, to adapt and survive in this area. On the good side, we noted that there was a church building with a pastorage, a preschool area, and canteen facilities that were being set up. The buildings were not ready, but near finish. In the evening, as we drove out of Long Tangau, heading out towards Sungai Asap, we noticed that there was a rainbow over the Talun Valley, and we took it as God's promise that He will be with them in spirit, in truth, and He will bless them and encourage them to overcome the difficulties that they face in this new resettlement area. I can't help but believe that God wants to bless these people, but the challenge is to all of us, Christians, brothers and sisters, to also reach out and encourage these people, to help them in the hour of need, to become overcomers, to adapt to a new way of life, which would unite them in a way like never before, and to be dependent wholly upon the power of God and nothing else.
Yan kanin aku nyanyi sebab Yesus muhe kanin aku kalau bara bebe sebab aku jian kanin dau jian tubuh Yesus muhe kanin Yesus mana kanin mabeng Ia tanah aku nyanyi, Dao jauh, dao jian, tubuh Yesus muhekenin. Kejam keha Tuhan Yesus, Ia terbaik aku kiwu. Amo beklo seru petat, sebab amo jian kenin. Dao jauh, dao jian, tubuh Yesus muhekenin. Yesus mana kanin mebeng, Ia tanah aku nyanyi. Dao jauh, dao jian, tubuh Yesus muhekenin. Jian kenin uluk nyanyi, sebab Tuhan Yesus terus muhekenin uluk. Mebet bebe kekat-kekat penyala uluk. Dau Tuhan Yesus muhe kekat-kekat penyala uluk. Inalah dau ejau, dau ejian mun-mun. Ne uluk kejam